terrain, 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 terrain ahead, pull up, terrain, terrain, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
The lying pilot of Aaliyah's plane crashed it due to a fatal mistake at a deadly speed into the ground, just 55 terrifying seconds and 650 feet after takeoff. It burst into flames, killing her crew and the young and rising queen of R&B, Aaliyah herself. Let's unravel the truth and the causes that took the lives of all its passengers, some of whom were not without fault. What would later be uncovered about the crash would shock everyone.
Sometimes it's hard to tell you so.
Early life and rise to fame. Birth and background. Aaliyah Dana Houghton was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1979. At the age of 5, her family relocated to Detroit. Aaliyah's love for music was evident from an early age as she sang in choirs, performed in churches, and took voice lessons. Her first significant role came when she was cast in the school play Annie at Gesu Elementary. From a young age, Aaliyah was naturally drawn to performing. Her mother, Diane, a singer herself, noticed this talent and wisely enrolled her in voice lessons. When Aaliyah was still a child, her father's job in the warehouse business led the family to move to Detroit, Michigan. There, Aaliyah attended a Catholic school named Gesu Elementary with her older brother, Rashad. As she grew older, Aaliyah attended the Detroit Performing Arts High School, where she managed to maintain a perfect 4.0 GPA despite her rising music career. Her family's unwavering support played a crucial role in her success. They encouraged her dreams, driving her to vocal and dance lessons, guitar lessons, and play rehearsals. They even ensured the sets for her school plays were transported to Marygrove College. This strong support system helped Aaliyah balance her education and her burgeoning music career, setting the stage for her future success. Aaliyah's name means the highest, most exalted one, the best, and it seems fitting considering her remarkable achievements. Her parents, Diane and Michael, chose the name with high hopes and dreams for their daughter. As she grew, Aaliyah made those dreams come true. By the age of 22, she had not only built a successful music career, but also established herself as a talented actress and a savvy businesswoman.
Maybe I didn't get it then, but I get it now.
Tell me, what happened?
Colin's dead.
From a young age, Aaliyah found joy in music. Even when she didn't win a youth vocal competition on Star Search as a preteen, she wasn't discouraged.
Let's find out what the judges have to say. The decision is coming. Katrina Abrams receives 4 stars. A perfect score. Her challenger, Aaliyah Houghton, receives 3¼ stars. Okay.
At just 11 years old, she performed with Gladys Knight for 5 nights in Las Vegas, a clear sign of her determination and talent. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Aaliyah was raised between Detroit and New York. She became a client of Abrams Artists and attended Detroit Performing Arts High School, graduating in 1997. Career highlights. In 1994, when Aaliyah was only 14, she released her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. It was an instant success. The first single, Back and Forth, became a top 5 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached #1 on the R&B charts. The follow-up single, a remake of the Isley Brothers' At Your Best, You Are Love, also did well, landing in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hitting #2 on R&B radio. Aaliyah recalled being nervous before Back and Forth was released, unsure if people would accept her music. But when the single went gold, it was clear she had made her mark. Her success paved the way for other young female artists, and her unique sense of fashion continued to influence her fans and other performers. Teen Vogue even noted that Aaliyah set the standard for young female artists in the 90s. Aaliyah's style was iconic, often characterized by baggy pants and oversized shirts, a reflection of her childhood habit of wearing her father's and brother's clothes. She once vowed never to wear a dress or carry a purse, but as she grew older, her style evolved. One unforgettable moment was at the MTV Awards, where she accepted her award in a stunning Roberto Cavalli dress, standing proudly alongside her beloved brother. In 1996, Aaliyah released her second album, One in a Million, which quickly became a massive hit. The lead single, If Your Girl Only Knew, went double platinum, showcasing Timbaland's unique beats and Missy Elliott's powerful lyrics. Tracks like 4-Page Letter and Hot Like Fire were also well received, solidifying her status in the music industry. Aaliyah and Timbaland shared a deep musical connection, working together seamlessly to create new sounds. Aaliyah's brother, Rashad, even contributed by writing the video treatment for 4-Page Letter while still a student at Hofstra University. The album, produced by a star-studded team including Jermaine Dupri, Rodney Jerkins, and others, went multi-platinum and gained international success. Aaliyah's performances took her across Europe, Japan, and South Africa. In Tokyo, fans sang along to every word of her songs, and in Paris, the crowd chanted her name before she even stepped on stage. In 1998, Aaliyah had another major hit with Are You That Somebody from the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack. Produced by Timbaland, the song became famous for its catchy beat and the distinctive sound of a baby crying. The music video featured classy flamenco dance moves choreographed by Fatima, which Aaliyah and her team mastered by studying films and consulting a flamenco specialist. That same year, Aaliyah performed Journey to the Past for the animated movie Anastasia. The song was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Song, and Aaliyah had the honor of performing it at the Oscars the same year that Titanic swept the awards. Aaliyah made her acting debut in 2000 with the film Romeo Must Die, starring alongside Jet Li. The movie was a box office success, and its soundtrack, which Aaliyah helped produce, included her hit song, Try Again. The soundtrack sold millions of copies and topped the Billboard charts for weeks. Remarkably, Aaliyah served as the executive producer for the soundtrack, contributing several tracks, including a collaboration with DMX. By this time, Aaliyah was working on her third studio album, while carefully choosing her next film roles from a growing list of offers. She was eager to continue collaborating with Timbaland and was also excited about working with other talented producers and artists. Her role in Romeo Must Die required intense preparation, including a month of training for a fight scene. Jet Li, a natural martial artist, was impressed with her dedication. Reflecting on her time on set, Aaliyah fondly remembered the kindness of the Romeo Must Die team and the support they showed her and her family. Aaliyah cherished her experience with the Romeo Must Die team because they went above and beyond to make her feel welcome and supported throughout the production. This was Aaliyah's first major acting role, and she was relatively new to the film industry. The team recognized her potential and treated her with great care, helping her ease into the world of acting. Their kindness was evident in the way they patiently worked with her, understanding that she was balancing her burgeoning music career with her acting debut. They created a nurturing environment on set, offering guidance and encouragement, which helped her gain confidence in her acting abilities. Following the success of Romeo Must Die, Aaliyah starred in the 2001 film Queen of the Damned, playing the title role of Akasha. The movie was based on the third novel in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. Aaliyah, who was fascinated by vampires, read all the chronicles and was thrilled to land the role. She worked closely with a speech instructor and a mime specialist to perfect her portrayal, all under the guidance of her acting coach, Harold Guskin. Aaliyah's third and final studio album, self-titled Aaliyah, was released in July 2001. The album showcased her growth as an artist and a person, debuting at number 2 on the US charts and selling over 2.4 million copies worldwide. It featured hit singles like We Need a Resolution, More Than a Woman, and Rock the Boat. In addition to her music and prominent roles in movies, Aaliyah was set to take on several film roles, including parts in The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, Honey, Sparkle, and a film based on an interracial love story that she pitched to Fox Searchlight. Aaliyah's business savvy was evident in how she managed her career at such a young age. She was deeply involved in shaping her music and acting projects, making strategic choices that aligned with her brand and creative vision. Her keen understanding of the industry allowed her to work with influential producers and select roles that fit her image, ensuring she made impactful moves that would enhance her career. In addition to her creative decisions, Aaliyah was adept at handling the business side of things. She maintained a consistent public image that solidified her as a fashion icon, and she actively participated in negotiating her contracts, demonstrating a mature grasp of her market value. With a clear long-term vision, she was already planning to expand her influence into new areas like fashion, setting the stage for lasting success. Her blend of creativity and business acumen played a crucial role in her career and remains an inspiration for many artists today. Personal life and artistic impact. Aaliyah's influence on R&B and future generations of artists remains profound. Artists like Drake, who has a tattoo of her on his back, often cite her as a major influence. Others, including Adele, The Weeknd, Beyoncé, Rihanna, and J. Cole, have all acknowledged the significant impact Aaliyah had on their careers and music.
I had such a crush on Aaliyah. It was like a little boy crush, but you know, I was always naming my beats, and this beat I want to make for Aaliyah. Like I just want, not a song, I just want to make a beat.
Years ago, there was this terrible rumor out. What is the deal with you and R. Kelly? Are you all married or not?
No, I'm not married. Robert's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. He's a great producer, great artist who I do admire, and there's nothing there at all.
Amid the success of her first album, rumors about her relationship with R. Kelly began to surface. There were allegations of a secret marriage when she was just 15. Although there were reports that her parents annulled the marriage in 1995, both Aaliyah and R. Kelly denied the allegations. There were even rumors going around that Aaliyah was pregnant with R. Kelly's child when she was 15 and he was 28, but she aborted it. Today, R. Kelly faces multiple charges of sexual assault involving underage girls. The crash. Filled with excitement and relief, Aaliyah and her team wrapped up filming the Rock the Boat music video at Marsh Harbor Airport in the Abaco Islands, Bahamas. Directed by Hype Williams, the shoot had gone smoothly, leaving everyone eager to return to Florida. On this memorable day, August 25, 2001, they decided to take advantage of their early completion and depart sooner than planned, their anticipation of returning home palpable. For Aaliyah, the experience was tragically serene. Reports indicate that she had been given a sleeping pill likely to help her rest during the flight. As a result, she was likely unconscious during the chaos of the crash. The final moments of the flight and the ensuing disaster were beyond her awareness. The personal loss felt by her family, friends, and fans was profound as the world mourned the untimely passing of a beloved artist. The decision to leave early was a rushed one, and unfortunately, it had consequences. The small aircraft they boarded was a Cessna 402, a light twin-engine plane known for its versatility and reliability. Normally used for short business trips and cargo transport, this model could carry 6 to 10 passengers. The Cessna 402 was chosen for the journey as a chartered flight, arranged to transport the group quickly. However, this particular flight was not ideal. The plane was smaller than the one they had arrived on, and in a last-minute decision, it was loaded with both the team and their extensive equipment. As the Cessna 402 prepared for takeoff, the excitement of leaving soon gave way to an unsettling sense of unease. The aircraft, designed for short regional flights, was severely overloaded with both passengers and gear. The extra weight was evident from the moment the plane began its ascent. The engines strained against the excessive load, and despite the pilot's best efforts, the plane struggled to gain altitude. Moments after the wheels left the runway, the situation became dire. The plane's engines, already working beyond their capacity, began to fail. The heavy burden proved too much for the small aircraft. The plane faltered, unable to sustain flight, and plummeted back to the ground with a devastating impact. The crash was catastrophic. Flames erupted from the wreckage, engulfing the aircraft in a fiery inferno. Aaliyah and her team were eager to return to Miami. They boarded a Cessna 402 at 6:50 p.m. at Marsh Harbor Airport in the Bahamas, despite warnings from the pilot about the plane's overload. The aircraft, carrying 9 people including Aaliyah, her hairstylist Eric Foreman, makeup artist Christopher Maldonado, security guard Scott Gallen, friend Keith Wallace, Anthony Dodd, Blackground Records employees Douglas Kratz and Gina Smith, and pilot Luis Morales III, was critically overburdened. In Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, Kathy Iandoloni reveals a heartbreaking detail. Aaliyah had initially resisted boarding the small plane. She had protested and chosen to remain in her taxi, only to be sedated and carried onto the aircraft against her will minutes before takeoff. Iandoloni's reflections on this revelation underscore a painful truth. Aaliyah's instinctive fear and reluctance, which were tragically disregarded, might have been a foreboding sign of the impending disaster. The investigation into the crash uncovered severe lapses in safety. The plane was overloaded by 700 pounds, far exceeding its maximum weight limit. Additionally, pilot Luis Morales III was found to have lied about his qualifications and was under the influence of cocaine and alcohol at the time of the crash. These factors collectively contributed to one of the most devastating accidents in music history, highlighting glaring deficiencies in both the pilot's credentials and the charter flight's operational standards. What would come later to surface when the investigations were finished shocked everyone. Immediate impact. The music world was left reeling with the devastating loss of Aaliyah, a young star whose light was extinguished far too soon. Timbaland, who had been a close collaborator on some of her most iconic tracks like Are You That Somebody and We Need a Resolution, struggled to find the words to express his grief. Speaking to TRL, his voice heavy with sorrow, he said, "She was like family to me. We had a special chemistry, and losing her feels like losing a part of myself. Beyond her music, she was the most special person I ever met." As the news spread, P. Diddy, visibly shaken, took to TRL as well, not just as a host, but as someone who had shared a deep friendship with Aaliyah. He spoke of her with a kind of reverence, recalling how she could light up any room with her radiant smile. Her loss was not just felt by the industry, but by those who loved her most, her parents, Diane and Michael Houghton, and her brother Rashad. DMX, who had shared the screen with her in Romeo Must Die and recorded the duet Come Back in One Piece for the film's soundtrack, spoke with deep emotion. He described her as talented, classy, warm, beautiful, compassionate, and humble. Genuine, another artist who had worked closely with Aaliyah, struggled to articulate his feelings, simply stating, "Words can't express what I'm feeling. She was family, and I will truly miss her." The sorrow was shared by Ernie Isley of the Isley Brothers, whose song Choosy Lover Aaliyah had reimagined for her 1996 album One in a Million. He mourned the loss of such a unique talent and lamented the world's loss in never seeing how much more she could have achieved. Jet Li, Aaliyah's co-star in Romeo Must Die, also shared his grief, expressing how devastated he was by the news and how much he would miss Aaliyah's wonderful and talented presence. The sorrow extended beyond the music industry, reaching her fans, who responded with heartfelt tributes. Candlelight vigils and spontaneous memorials were held in her honor across the country. In Detroit, where Aaliyah had graduated from high school, a vigil was organized outside her alma mater, the Detroit High School for Fine and Performing Arts. In Los Angeles, outside Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard, fans gathered beneath an Aaliyah billboard, leaving messages, candles, and flowers. And in New York, her memory was immortalized in art, as a spray paint artist in the Lower East Side worked tirelessly to create a mural in her honor. The world had lost a bright star, but through the stories, memories, and art left in her wake, Aaliyah's spirit continued to shine. Investigation results. Aaliyah's death was ruled accidental. Her body was found 20 feet from the wreckage. The victims were taken to the morgue at Princess Margaret Hospital in Nassau. An inquest by Dr. Giovanna Raju at the coroner's office revealed that Aaliyah died from severe burns and a blow to the head. She also suffered extreme shock that damaged her heart. Dr. Raju suggested that Aaliyah had experienced such severe physical shock that she likely would have died even if she had survived the crash. Authorities later determined that the Cessna had exceeded its maximum weight limit by 700 pounds. Additionally, it was discovered that the pilot had not been approved to fly the plane and had lied to obtain his pilot's license. In 2002, a toxicology report revealed that the pilot, Luis Morales, had cocaine and alcohol in his system at the time of the crash. This revelation added another layer of tragedy to the accident, joining the list of other devastating air disasters in music history, like those involving Lynyrd Skynyrd, John Denver, and Otis Redding. If you want me to cover their cases as well, leave me a comment below. Some conspiracy theories suggest that Jay-Z might have been involved due to personal and professional rivalries. This theory posits that Jay-Z could have had a motive linked to his business and personal relationships, particularly with Dame Dash, who was engaged to Aaliyah at the time. The idea is that Jay-Z, driven by jealousy or anger, might have orchestrated the crash to eliminate Aaliyah and create trouble for Dame Dash. Counterpoint. There's no concrete evidence supporting Jay-Z's involvement. It's crucial to consider that orchestrating such a complex and dangerous scheme would require a high level of planning and execution, which seems implausible given Jay-Z's standing in the industry and the sheer scale of risk involved. Another theory points to R. Kelly, who was previously involved with Aaliyah and had a history of predatory behavior. Some speculate that R. Kelly, driven by unresolved issues or jealousy, might have been involved in a conspiracy to harm Aaliyah. Counterpoint. While R. Kelly's behavior was indeed problematic, there is no direct evidence linking him to the crash. He was publicly mourning Aaliyah's death and even missed award shows, which seems inconsistent with any conspiracy. A more general theory suggests that the crash was part of a larger cover-up involving various figures in the music industry. This theory speculates that influential people in the industry might have orchestrated the crash to silence Aaliyah or to cover up a scandal. Counterpoint. This theory tends to be more about the general suspicion of the music industry rather than specific evidence. The crash was heavily investigated, and the findings point toward pilot error and airline negligence rather than a deliberate plot. A more practical theory focuses on the pilot's background and the airline's safety practices. The pilot, Luis Morales, was found to have a history of drug use and was not certified to fly the aircraft. The plane was also overloaded with equipment. Morales was on probation for drug use and had a questionable flying record. Traces of cocaine were found in his system after the crash. The airline, Black Hawk International Airways, had a history of regulatory violations, including failing to test employees for drugs and not adhering to maintenance standards. Aaliyah was reportedly anxious about flying and had been pushed to take the flight due to scheduling pressures and issues with the resort where they were staying. The team was reportedly under time pressure to complete the shoot and leave quickly. Aaliyah's funeral was held just 6 days after her death, on August 31, 2001, at the Church of St. Ignatius Loyola in Manhattan. It was a somber occasion, but those who knew her remembered her with warmth and affection. Aaliyah's untimely death on August 25, 2001, not only shook the music world, but also prompted significant legal and regulatory changes in the aviation industry. Her tragic passing highlighted serious lapses in charter flight safety, leading to stricter regulations and oversight in the operations of private flights, particularly concerning pilot qualifications and aircraft loading capacities. Despite her life being cut short, Aaliyah's influence remains powerful, with her music and style continuing to inspire new generations of artists. Her legacy is honored through countless tributes, including a poignant funeral in Manhattan attended by 800 mourners, and her lasting impact on both music and culture is undeniable. As we reflect on what could have been her future projects and continued evolution as an artist, we recognize the profound loss her passing represents. Aaliyah's story is a reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring nature of legacy, encapsulating a journey that, though brief, left an indelible mark on the world. Do you think that this fatal crash could have been avoided?